Cast, episode 2627. It's Sunday, July the 16th, and that means that today's episode is Ask Papa Swolio Live, so we're just taking tons of questions. And, of course, you can check the show notes below in order to submit your questions over there at askpapaswolio.com. You can actually call into the show on that site. And if you are catching the live stream, just use the hashtag AskPapaSwolio during every live stream, including today, and get your question featured. If you want to get notifications for the show, check the description down below. And of course, you'll get access to Swole Text and so much more Discord and Telegram alerts when you're a member over there at swolenormousx.com. And I've been getting tons and tons of Swole Text messages, of email responses, and of course, during the live streams, amazing feedback so far on the brand new program, Maximum Swole, that's now available in the program vault for members. So if you are hitting plateaus, if you need to stay focused for summer, I know a lot of people punch out, a lot of people go on vacation, their kids are home from school, their schedules are different, it's hot, whatever. Now is the time. It's always now. If you didn't do it in January, if you didn't do it in December, if you didn't do it in March, if you didn't do it in fucking June, today is the only thing that exists. Are you making those changes today? And do you have your shit aligned? Do you have your things in focus? And most people do not focus on all the 7 pillars properly, and that's why they hit those plateaus. That's why they hit the skids. That's why they fall off. And if you never quit, you never have to start again. And that's what we do inside the Swole fam. We approach fitness with a holistic approach, and we hit every single 7 pillars. So Swolenormous X, the Swole fam, takes care of all of those 7 pillars. And if you don't know what that is, go and download your free copy. Head on over to swolenormousx.com and check out the 7 pillars and join the Swole fam today. Very excited for today's Q&A. Tomorrow we have our accountability meeting at 12 noon Eastern time. So tomorrow's live stream will be private. And aside from that, that's all I got for you right now. I hope you're enjoying Maximum Swole. I hope you're going to make some sick fucking gains today on a Sunday. And let's get into the Q and anus. The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised. Coming in hot. Oh, this looks juicy. There's a lot going on here.
I'm seeing stars. Ow!
Hit Nico Cotto.
My nipples.
Looks like Hess Hornaday.
I'm fucking proud of myself.
You might want to get your thyroid checked.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Hi, Swolenormous.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, 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 testicles, testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 26 hundo and 27 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gamecast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and yo hoes? It's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode. Today's episode of the Beastcast is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everson K2 Flexing and all you y'all.
It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, fam. Hit the thumbs up button. Thanks for being here. Of course, everything that we talk about in the show is in the description, the show notes. Today is Ask Papa Swolio Live, the Red, White, and Swole Sunday Funday Q&A-ness. And of course, you bring the Q, Papa brings the brown eye. We're going to get into a bunch of questions. We got calls. We have Instagram questions. I'm sure we'll have some things live, some topics that you want to, drop in the chat. So hashtag Ask Papa Swolio if you are asking a question live. And without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Let's summon the Falcon and get today's party started. Falcon. 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 There you are, Francois. Bonjour. Who's that lady? Who's that lady? Look at sexy Tessie. Who's that lady? All right, hashtag Make America Swole. It's time for MAS. Let's Make America Swole. Fantastic. Okay, let's get into the questions. Hashtag MAS, hashtag MAS, Make America Swole. Drop that in the chat, and we'll give away that Swole card at the end of today's episode. So, it is Sunday, which means that on Friday we had our roundtable. We had a roundtable on Thursday, and then on Friday we had our overtime segment. So we had an overtime segment with a brand new driving while gaining. Being fit is far right.
Matt Damon.
Sieg Gains. Go get some Sieg fucking Gains over there in Swole TV. Go and check out this past driving while gaining, which was next level. Very much so next level. Go and check it out and leave a comment after you watch it. I hope you enjoy. It was awesome. And of course, we'll have another overtime segment this coming week. Let's get into a question. Question. AskPapaSwolio.com. We got a couple calls. Let's get into it. We got one from Will. So what do we got? Will is on the line. Will, you're on the Sleazecast.
Hey, Papa Swolio. So I'm in a predicament coming up in the beginning of August where I'm heading up to Michigan for a family reunion. And up there's no gym in the hotel, and there's no gym within like a 30-mile radius. And I won't be able to have a car up there because I'm riding up there with my family. So my question for you is, up there, I'll still be able to get still be able to do swimming and sauna and recovery and all that stuff up there. But leading up to it, what should I do for my split? Should I just keep my split the same, like lifting wise? Or do you think I should take a different approach leading up to it and then coming back into it after I get back from the reunion? If you have any other thoughts, just let me know. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Oxygen. I need some oxygen. Will Cerny says don't go. Well, leading up to it, it doesn't matter what you do. I would say lift as much weights as you possibly can. I don't know. Did he say how long he was going for? I blacked out when he said there's no gym. No gym for 30 miles. You could do sauna. You could do swimming. That's cool. You could bring bands. Are you flying there? Are you driving there? I don't know if he said that. If he said how he was traveling there. Because if you're driving, you could bring one kettlebell. Just saying. You could bring, you could bring a 16 kilogram kettlebell or something like that. You could bring bands. You could bring a yoga mat, or you could do yoga. You don't need a yoga mat. It's ideal if you have one, but you can still do yoga and mobility. So you could still do pull-ups and push-ups and stuff and challenge yourself that way. If you do enough of them, you're going to be sore and it's going to hold you over. So I don't know if you're driving, that will make a difference because, again, one of the beautiful things about a kettlebell is one kettlebell is not that heavy. Depends on the size, of course. That's what she said. But it doesn't take up that much space. And you could do every body part with it. So if you have a 16 kilogram kettlebell, you could do kettlebell swings, you could do snatches, you could do cleans, you could do squats, you could do every body part. You could do a lot of different things in addition to other things that you do, in addition to yoga. So yoga is great because you could bring a mat or you use a towel or just do it outside because it's beautiful out. Maine's beautiful. So that's my thought. That's my thought. Do mobility, do the activity that you can do, enjoy your time with your family. But it really comes down to how you manage that time and what you bring along with you. Because there are options. If you're driving, you could throw something in the car. You could. So a 16 kilogram is 35 pounds. A 24 kilogram is 53 pounds. And depending how strong you are, but you could do everything with a 16 kilogram kettlebell. A gallon jug is 8 pounds. You could do stuff. There's stuff to do. That's my thought. But what's most important is what you do when you come back. So depending on how long you're going for. And again, I don't know if he said how long he was going for. I forget. But you can just shift back into it. Shift back into lifting weights and just don't do as much volume. Don't do much volume, or when you first come back, it's going to be a big shock again, but you'll see how I would just jump right back into your split and just keep in mind that it's your first week back and just don't do as much volume. If you're doing maximum swole, you can still push yourself because your volume is so limited because your intensity is so high. So it's only going to be able to match what you're able to do in the moment. Carson, live question. Papa Swolio, how should a person who has been losing fat transition to eating in a surplus to build muscle? Should you do a maintenance period? It really depends on how you're calculating it. I mean, a person who's been losing fat, you mean losing overall body weight? Because you could be building muscle. You should just be building muscle from the start. Your body will lose fat over time. So anyone that has a lot of fat to lose, you're still in building muscle mode. You're still in building strength and building muscle mode. So it's not like you lose the fat and then you build muscle. When it comes to building muscle, when it comes to a caloric or anything surplus, don't forget your body has that extra energy on itself. So when you are talking about a surplus, you need to be eating sufficient protein and creating the proper stimulus to build the muscle and to utilize the resources that are already on your body. So I would be focusing on getting in sufficient protein. And if you have extra fat to lose, just keep around a maintenance or keep around a slight deficit. I would just say a maintenance, because if you're lifting heavy weights, you can eat more than what it would just be to maintain your weight without exercise. That's why people should be lifting weights. If you're just trying to like lose weight by just dieting and cutting calories, you're just going to starve yourself and binge and crash out. If you're lifting heavy weights, you could eat more food and still lose extra body fat. Remember, it changes the substrate. It changes what your body uses and how your body utilizes the resources that you're consuming and what's on your body. That's what you want to do. You want to make sure that your body starts utilizing the extra fat stores on itself by managing hormone and stress levels, by getting quality sleep, via what you're consuming is what your body will be utilizing for building muscle. And you want your body to trim down the fat with that low intensity, long duration exercise because your body doesn't have sufficient incoming consumption to maintain those fat stores. So you're shifting your body's adaptations and what it's used to in terms of how it handles the food that you're consuming. And if you're producing the right stress and putting your body in the right environment, it'll use it to build muscle. So keep the protein high, eat the fat, cut back on the carbohydrates, and just gauge over time. But I would focus on building muscle. And you don't need a crazy surplus. You need a sufficient protein and nitrogen balance. So you don't need a big surplus. And if you're utilizing calories and you're building enough muscle, your body will trim down that extra fat. It just takes longer time than people realize, especially once you start getting to that quote maintenance place, or that I want to say set point, but like balance point. You know, if you have a ton of extra fat, once you lose a lot of that, once you start building muscle, of course, remember your body adapts. So whatever you're doing, your body is always trying to adapt. Your body is always trying to adapt to the stress. So that's your body's goal. No matter what you're doing, your body is trying to adapt to it. So as your body adapts to it, you have to progressively overload or create the stimulus. And that's the misconception, is that people think that they just have to do more and more and more. Overload doesn't mean more. And that's why we talk about maximum swole. But I can follow up with that question if that didn't answer it. Space Shuttle Door Gunner, hashtag Make America Swole. I got my Dick Draft card and my wife almost threw it away, thinking it was junk mail. What saved it was the awesome envelope that it was in. Woof. You mean what? Your wife, Saved by the Bell. That was almost an ex-wife right there. You could tell her I said so. My goodness. At the buzzer, what saved it was the awesome envelope. Fuck yeah. Best envelopes in the game. She's a lucky lady. Man. Just missed execution. Saved by she had the noose around her neck. Saved by a decree from the king. Oh, tainty boy. Excuse me. This is a podcast. This is a live stream, tainty man. Hey. Not you too. It too, Churchy? It too, Church? Look at her. What are you getting all feisty for? Excuse me. No. Can everyone shut up? Please? Kids these days. All right. Carson, I calculated what it would take to put me in a deficit and just eat those general foods consistently once a month. I double checked that I'm still in a deficit and basically eat what I'm used to. All right, so let's see. Well, remember what you consume in terms of calorie quantity, that's going to change. That's going to adjust over time. So as you lose or as you build muscle, your needs are going to change. The problem is with body fat percentage and things like that, it's very hard to monitor on your own without professional highest level equipment. That's why pictures and things and scale, they can be beneficial if you do them properly and consistently and accurately, like we're talking to a T. So yeah, just don't over obsess with it. The focus should be on building muscle. And here's what I want you to focus on. I want you to focus on building strength. I want you to focus on getting stronger. I want you to focus on building muscle. I want you to focus on your training, on your sleep, and all those things, and the food quality. Okay. If you're around a maintenance or a slight deficit, if you're getting enough protein, per pound of lean mass, if you're eating sufficiently and you'll see progress over time. It's hard for me to say because I don't know what you look like and where you're at. I'm just going based off what you were saying. So it depends on how much extra body fat you have to lose, what your body fat percentage actually is, and where you're at. So I'm just guessing as to where you're at, but a lot of people focus too much on losing fat first and then building muscle. It's like the fat on your body is extra energy. So you want your body to utilize that for daily functions as what you're consuming and as what you're training requires those resources, because fat is just stored extra energy and your body's using energy all the time. You're using energy. Right now I'm using energy, not a lot, and I'm using fat as a substrate. I'm not using sugar. I'm not using creatine, phosphate. I'm not doing high intensity, short duration activity. I'm not lifting weights really intensely for 5 reps. I'm not doing a sprint. I'm not doing box jumps or something right now. So right now what I'm using is a high percentage of a small amount of calories, and that percentage, that substrate, is fat oxidation, because that's the optimal energy source for low intensity, long duration activity. So what you want to do is you want to increase your lean mass. You want to create the need in your body to require the protein and the fats and things that you're consuming to repair muscle tissue. You really want your body to need to use resources to repair lean mass, bone density, ligaments, tendons, soft tissue. You don't want your body to be geared towards storing excess. If you're dealing with chronic inflammation, you're eating tons of excess calories and nutrient void foods, your body will be like, oh, we got all this stuff. Because remember, your body, we've evolved over millennia to binge eat. We've evolved over millennia to try to get as many calories as we can from everywhere, because food is just evolutionary hard to come by. So we're still programmed to overeat. We're still programmed to store fat. That's why we can store fat, which is great. We're able to store energy and keep some for later. That's why we can go days or weeks without eating. It's an amazing adaptation. Can you imagine having to eat every day or you would die? That would suck. Some people think that they're going to die. I'm starving. I haven't eaten all day. It's like, yeah, okay. Maybe you're nutrient deprived, but you're not going to die if you don't eat. And we all know if you go one day, you might be hungry, but then if you start practicing fasting and you do it for a couple days, you actually start feeling better and you don't feel hungry. You just kind of go along with it. Your body shifts and says, okay, we're not getting food. And it starts tapping into, your stored resources. TCAP, the envelope that saved marriage from divorce court. That's right. Space shuttle door gunner. She would have died. All right. Alan says, Papa Swolio, legs D in swole season is the lunges sets of minimum 60 steps, i.e. 60 steps times 3 sets, because those are brutal even at 25 pounds. I have to see it. I don't memorize I don't have the programs memorized. I have to look and see in terms of the sets. I don't have it in front of me. I do so many. I have so many workouts that I've written. It's hard for me to remember individual ones, even if it's my programs, to be honest. So is the lunges sets of minimum 60 steps. Remember, well, I have to see how it's written. Maybe someone else can fill in on legs D or legs delta, you mean, right? I'd have to see exactly what it's written because I have different things in different programs. So I want to be accurate. I want to make sure I'm telling you the right thing for that one. It's a good question then. Someone else can answer that or we can look into it. I have to pull it up. Positive charisma, Papa Swolio. Important question. Have y'all hugged your dogs today? Cue the pups. Make America swole. Have I hugged them? I'm about to beat this guy's ass. I'm about to beat his ass if he keeps on making noise. Why are you out of focus? It's all right. Where are you? Let's see. Are you in focus? Yeah, you better be. You better be leaning. Okay, so let's move on. I can't look at that right now. And don't put pictures sideways. I can't see that shit. Put that in the Swole Fam Telegram chat later. All right, let's see here. Yeah, everyone's a little bit on edge today. Papa Swolio, what is the most unusual meat you've eaten?
Pickles?
No, I haven't. Unusual meat? An unusual meat. I don't know, probably bologna. When you think about it, that's fucking unusual as shit. We should not be eating crap like that. Think about that. Okay, we got another question here on the Daily Swole Telegram. Josh, few-month listener, first-time caller. Wow. Due to my addiction listening to the Daily Swole and your awesome words of wisdom, I actually modified my workouts to be similar to Maximum Swole for about a month now with increasing PRs. I enjoy lifting to failure and being done with junk volume. I have a herniated disc and a few bulging discs in my lower back that keep me from using heavy weights on Romanian deadlifts and similar back extension exercises. Should I continue to do those with light weight on my heavy days, or should I switch to that on mobility days? Or am I dealing with all that wrong? Doctors, like you say, never have any good corrective advice, just pills. Thanks. Well, the thing is with herniated disc and bulging disc is that they could be improved with yoga and decompression work and dead hangs and maybe certain movements, but a lot of those things don't get solved with exercise unless you're doing a movement. And we've had some members that say they're doing movements, they're doing yoga, and they're practicing all these things. And one day when they're doing 90-day dash, they were doing an incline press and they were leaning back and they felt like a pop. And like all of a sudden their back just felt 100%, like it just went back in place. So it's kind of like, oh, it's a miracle. It's a swole miracle. But exercise doesn't necessarily fix those things, right? But maybe by doing decompression and by maybe doing decompression and doing things like downward dog and yoga movements, you might improve symptoms of those things. Anyway, avoid any movements avoid any movement. Hold on a second. Avoid any movement that's that's causing problems. In terms of mobility, yes, you should be doing mobility days and yoga days. Things like RDL, this is where you get from compound exercises to more isolation exercises. So people that have lower back concerns, do you want to just avoid anything with the lower back? Not necessarily. There could be certain movements mobility wise that you're not going to load the same way, but that can definitely maintain flexibility, range of motion, aka mobility. And maybe RDL, like everyone, or I shouldn't say everyone, but some people have specific exercises that are just, this one's not for me. It just doesn't hit the right way. I don't feel it properly. Maybe the form is off, but most of us have an exercise. And when I say what's the best exercise or what's your favorite, it should be what works the best. And a lot of times what works the best is going to become your favorite because you associate it with results. So you enjoy doing it because you like getting results. Whether or not you enjoying it or liking an exercise is oftentimes going to be related to what you find works. If you find something that's very unique and that works, you're going to like it, right? You're going to learn to like it. You're going to do it regardless. You're going to do it if it works. And a lot of times you'll do something frequently because you like it, and you'll do it frequently because it works, and then you like it. So chicken or the egg type of thing. So if you can do some of these mobility exercises with lighter weight, remember when you do mobility, you're generally going to go lighter because you're taking it through a full range of motion. So with a training program like Maximum Swole, what you're doing is you're maximizing your intensity for the overload that you're doing, but then you're doing more days of recovery in order to recover 100%. So Maximum Swole is maximum intensity. It's also maximum recovery. So on those days off, it's not like, hey, you train intensely and you're just sitting around. You could do some, a light kettlebell and do some 10-minute cardio where you're doing a couple hundred reps of kettlebell swings, on a day off from intense training. Because that's not necessarily intense training. That's lower intensity, higher duration. You can go for a walk. You can go for a swim. You could do yoga. You could do a mobility workout. You could do a Swollen 7 mobility. You could do these different things that aid in the recovery. Because when you think about recovery, it's active recovery, right? Maximum Swole also means maximum recovery, which doesn't mean just sitting around. It just means you have 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on what session split you're using, different approaches to breaking down muscle groups for the intense training. You are able to customize how many days between each session that you do. So you're allowing your central nervous system to recover and repair, and everything that comes in between those intense sessions is geared towards preparing you to go intense in that next session. So if you're doing, let's say, chest and back, legs, and a shoulders and arms, you're doing a 3-session day split. That's not necessarily 3 days and 7 days. That's just 3 days period. That might take you 10 days. Maybe you want 3 or 4 days between each session. You want to do yoga for a couple days, and then you do your next session. So it's not based on a 7-day rotation because that's very arbitrary. And everything that happens in between those intense sessions is geared to what will help you mentally and physically repair so you can be 100% recovered, so you can train at your maximum intensity for that next session. And yeah, doctors just want to give you like, hey, I have pain. Doctors treat the symptoms. They're not treating the source of the problem. Most doctors. But one thing when it comes from mobility and things of that sort is if you don't use it, you lose it. And you're going to build muscle. You're going to build more muscle if you address mobility training because it opens up your muscles. It opens up the muscle tissue. It opens up the connective tissue. It will give you a greater ability to get full contraction. Uncle John, I hope you're trolling me, bro. I think you are. Papa Swolio, how do I know if I'm getting enough grains in my diet? Well, look down. If you have a vagina, you're getting too many grains. I don't know. That doesn't work.
Because
it looks like you have a beard. So if your beard starts disappearing, you're getting too many grains, too much gluten and soy. Har, har, har. Eat a fucking steak. And you had a laughing emoji at the end. So thanks for the troll. Appreciate it. Fucking grains. Rihanna, Papa Soy, I'm looking at bringing my own food on the plane. My issue is finding not so crappy water. I'm bringing my own hydro flask. Any suggestions or just abstain? Well, you could buy water and they're probably not going to have glass or water in glass. So you can get like a Fiji water or something. There's certain waters that are probably going to taste better or be better. I know it's plastic, so some things that you can do in terms of, for example, if you're traveling, like airport coffee is yikes, but you can bring your own. There's a little French press and pour over containers, like thermoses that you can actually get water, hot water, and just make your own coffee. But there are standalone water bottles that have their own water filter that you can actually filter. I think Berkey has one. There are probably other brands, I'm guarantee, that you can actually filter water. And this is designed for people that go camping or that are, I guess, in the airport. You could actually filter water wherever you are. So bringing your own food on the plane is not a problem. That's easy. I used to bring literally fucking groceries. I used to bring pounds of beef, sweet potatoes. I used to just bring hard-boiled eggs. I used to bring like 60 eggs on a plane when I would go for like a weekend or two, or a weekend or 3 or 4 days doing trainings and teaching, doing like seminars. So the water is the issue. But of course, whenever you get to where you're going, if you don't have water, obviously in the hotel, you could also go on Amazon and or Instacart and get water delivered. And sometimes they might have Mountain Valley or water that's in glass. But yeah, I mean, it's going to have to be something that you compromise with, because I don't think they're going to have glass bottled water in the airport. Usually it's just plastic. But at least it'll be filtered or spring water or something like that. But like I said, it might be, I don't know when you're traveling, but they do have water bottles that do have a filter in it. So that would definitely be a good option if you want to look into that. Danny, you introduced me to skier squats. Love them now. They're great. They're fantastic. And Alan, when you're talking about swole season, it's, if you look at the sets, like I know it says 3 to 6 sets, that could be 2 to 6. You don't have to do 3. So the volume with any of the programs in X, whether it's 90-day dash, whether it's scorched earth, swole season, and especially maximum swole, the volume is relative. So the sets, I could easily go back and edit those and put 2 to 6. So swole season is more of a volume workout. So if you're doing that, you can do 2 sets. You don't have to do 3. So that range could be 2 to 6. It could even be 1 to 6, but you can definitely, you don't have to do 3 sets for that. You have an attitude problem today. You're being a bad influence on your sister. I'm talking to you. Yeah. You know what you did. It's a live stream. You know better. Goddamn beach. Space Shuttle Door Gunner. All right. Papa Swolio, would you suggest active/static stretches before bed? I've been waking up with sore shoulder joints recently. I've been waking up from shoulder pain. You could do that. What's your bed situation like? If soft beds are brutal, so your sleeping surface or how you're sleeping at night could be an issue. You could do that. You could do yoga before bed, sure. Yin yoga before bed can be fantastic, as well as mobility in the morning. Are you doing dead hangs, just straight hanging from a bar? Dead hangs is, in my opinion, the best thing for your shoulders and for your back. You should be able to do like 1.5 to 2.5 minutes of a hang. You should build up to that, but dead hangs are awesome. We have pull-up bars like all around the house. I got pull-up bar. We have one on the stall bars. We have another one over here. I have a squat rack outside. We just got pull-up bars like all around the yard. Just hanging all the time. Danny, Papa Swolio, would you recommend increasing weight every set or every workout? Well, you're not going to be able to increase every set. I mean, if you increase every set, you're going to decrease the reps and you're just fatiguing yourself. So we talk about maximum swole and junk volume. You can increase the weight. If you're doing maximum swole, you're doing one maximum set. then, and if you're getting proper recovery, and if you're really pushing that maximum set to true failure as close to possible, you should be making consistent progress. So you should be increasing the weight or the reps every workout, ideally. And if you're not, in terms of maximum swole, that is a sign that maybe you're not training intensely enough and or you're not recovering enough in your nutrition. And remember, nutrition is a part of that recovery. If you're not eating sufficiently or sleeping sufficiently, then your recovery is insufficient. And you might need more days between your workouts. So let's say two people eat, sleep the same, right? Let's say they're getting the optimal foods, but even if everything's the same for two people, one, you're still fundamentally different people, but one person might recover faster. So for me, if I'm getting great sleep every night and I'm eating these, certain foods, I'm getting great sleep, I'm doing mobility and this, that, and another, maybe I can do my workouts for maximum swole. Maybe I can do a split where I'm training every other day. I'm taking one day between intense training sessions or maybe two. Someone else that might be kind of less consistent in terms of sleep or maybe just, or even just fundamentally. Let's say we're both doing everything the same. Like I said, another person might need an extra day or two. Someone else might just have lower recoverability than I do. So recoverability is very individualized. And of course, if some people, and you all know this, let's say you don't get quality sleep, it's negatively affecting your recoverability. So if something comes up, you might want to take an extra day off to get back on track and to make sure your body, again, when it comes to maximum swole, what you're trying to do is just completely recover. You're trying to get 100, whatever gets you 100% recovery. If you can recover, and this is why people that take anabolic steroids, it decreases the recovery time. So you're able to train more intensely, more frequently, and do more volume and make more gains in a shorter period of time. There's a lot of other benefits there as well in terms of anabolic growth. So, and this is why Maximum Swole is a great program, even especially as you get older, because it takes longer to recover. Those of you that are in your 30s and 40s and 50s, you know that when you train now, it takes you a lot longer to recover from anything. Even if you get like 2 hours less of sleep, you feel like you get hit with a sledgehammer. Whereas when you were 18, you would go out drinking, wake up at 8 o'clock and then go for a run. So it's taking you a lot longer to recover, which means you need to use the time that you're training intensely more valuably. You need to make sure that you're not overdoing the volume. You're not just doing excessive. You're not beating yourself up unnecessarily. You need to make sure that when you're training, you're providing your body with the stimulus and then getting to recovery as quickly as possible. You don't need the same type of volume. You just need the intensity to match the decreased volume. It's fine to do less volume, but if you're doing less volume, you're doing one set, but you're kind of doing a few reps and you're not really pushing yourself, you're not going to make gains because you're not creating that stimulus. You have to get that threshold. You have to shock the body with that threshold of one all-out set that's greater than last time. So if I did 100 pounds last time, and I was saying this example on the round table. So my last workout, not this past chest and back workout, but the previous chest workout, I had tracked, I have a Nautilus leverage decline press machine. So I have in my chart, I had a 90, 245s and a 35. It was like 125 pounds on each arm, on each weight stack, the weight peg. So 125 pounds. So whatever I did, it's irrelevant. So I'm just giving you this example because it's a literal example. And I did 5 reps. Okay, that's the lower range. If you get 4, that's the lowest range of reps I'm trying to go. I'm not trying to do 2 reps. So if I did 2 reps, it was too heavy. So I did 5 reps. Okay, that was all out. That was the most that I can do. This time that I did it a couple days ago, I forget what day, I think it was Wednesday? Doesn't matter. I did 100. I did the same. So it was 5. So I didn't add more weight because why would I add more weight? I only got 5 reps. But my goal was to increase the reps. And I did 9. So I literally, from the previous, which I think was 9 days before that, I did 5 reps. I literally almost doubled my output. I doubled the amount of reps I did with the same fucking weight. Do you have any idea how much of an increase that is? To be going all out 100, like for 5 reps. And the next time you do it, to literally almost double the repetitions. So now I did 9 reps. So the next time now I'm going to do add a 5. I'll do 130 or maybe 135 and then get 5 or 6 reps and then do that the same time and then try to get 7 or 8. So the goal is to increase in weight or reps. So if you only got like 5 reps or 6 reps, do the same weight the next time and try to get a 7th or an 8th. And it might not seem a lot, but this is a game of inches, especially as you get more advanced with your training. I mean, it's always a game of inches. It's always going to be trying to get a little bit more from where you're starting. If you're starting off and it's a new stress, your body is going to adapt a lot quicker because everything is new. So if you're doing 125 pounds for 5 reps and the next time you do that same exercise, you did 6 reps or 7, guess what? Is that not an increase in stimulus? It is. You did another repetition or 2. That's an increase in the stimulus. You did the same thing 2 more times. If you do the math, if I did 2 more reps, that's about 50% of an increase in the intensity, in the overload, in the shock. My body for that exercise has never done 9 reps with or 5 reps. And then because of the intensity, because of the recovery, it has super compensated. It has adapted in order to handle that 5 reps. And I was able to get 9. So guess what? Next time I need to do 10, 11, or 12 reps or increase and add like 5 pounds on each side and do 130 or 135 or 132 and a half or whatever it is, and do 5, 6, 7, or try to get the same, add 5 pounds and try to get 9 reps again. So you want to be increasing the weight and increasing the reps over time. So I always aim for about 5 to 10 repetitions. And then if I'm at the lower end, I stick to that same weight the next time. If I only get 6 or 7 reps, I'll do the same weight the next time and I'll try to get 8 or 9 or 10. And then I'll increase the weight slightly. And then objectively, I know that I'm making progress because building strength is a precursor to building muscle. And I'm recovering more. And I'm not fatiguing myself as much. If you're doing, can you build muscle? People always ask me this stuff too. Can you build muscle doing 15 or 20 reps? Yes, you can. If you're going to failure, you can build muscle for sure. Remember, more is more. If you're doing a weight for 16 reps and then the next time, and that's to failure. What I mean is failure. You can't do more. And then the next time you're doing that same weight for 21 reps, you got stronger. That's more of a stress. But you'll know that if you do 20 or 25 reps to failure, that's much more fatiguing for your central nervous system than it is 5 to 10. It's much more exhausting. You're doing a lot more it's a lot longer, a lot more time, and it's a lot more stress. It's just a lot more fatiguing doing more repetitions to failure. So if you could build the same amount of muscle, you could build muscle doing 5 to 10 reps or 20 to 25 reps, you're going to create less systemic fatigue doing heavier weight, lower repetitions. So you could recover faster and create less central nervous system fatigue. All right, Will, Papa Swole, I will be gone for the reunion for 5 days, so no lifting on those days. Dude, your body's not going to know what you're just going to be completely recovered when you come back. You're going to be totally fine. I thought, for some reason, I thought you were going for a month or something like that. I'll be bringing my 5-pound club and I will look for a kettlebell. Should I bring anything else? Dude, 5 days. If you're doing maximum swole, 5 days can literally just be the time from one workout to the next. You'll just be, if you're in a car, you might feel a little bit stiff, but 5 days can just be the time between subsequent workouts. Depends on what programming you're doing. 5 days is nothing. That's nothing. That's nothing. Alan says the sleep thing is true. If the dogs wake me up in the middle of the night, I feel like shit the next day. I'm a solid 8 to 9 hours per night guy, but I'm old. Yeah, but everyone's different. Everyone's different. Let's take a call from Tyler. Good question so far. Good knowledge, cock. Feel it? You feel it? You feel that? Here we go.
Hey there, how's it going, Papa Swolio? It's been a while since I've called in. Yes, I'm still alive, just letting you know. But I do want to ask a quick little question. So I am currently on a 48-hour fast, and I'm about to break that fast tomorrow morning after I get done with my training session. So should I ease back into like meals small, or just go ahead and eat like a huge meal, I just want to ask that before I even do anything, Thank you.
I mean, 48 hours is really not that long. Like I've done 36, 48, and I just come back kind of eating, but I would just start with something lighter. You're not going to harm yourself by easing back into it. If you're doing longer fasts, if you're doing like 7 days or 14 days or something, intense like that, yeah, you need to be smart. And when you're fasting, you could do electrolytes and stuff like that. If you truly want to fast, it's no coffee. It's just water and electrolytes. But 48 hours is not, it's not like your body doesn't remember food. If you do longer periods, you just need to ease back into it. But if you want to do something more liquid, something softer, something that's more easily digestible, that's fine too. Like when I come back into it, just eating a feast and stuffing yourself, you might just feel uncomfortable. 48 hours, you probably won't feel that. You probably don't need to do anything easing back into it. But yeah, that's totally fine. Just have a small meal or have like things that are a little bit, have some eggs or have something a little bit more ease, because you can always have more in a few hours later. Just have like a little something and see how you feel. In other words, you're not going to make mistakes by just doing a little bit. And if you have any issues or discomfort, then it's a good thing that you didn't do a lot more, right? All right. We'll pose this to the fam, but Papa Swolio, dad advice working out with your kids or dad advice to work out with your kids. Use your toddlers. So it's not a question. Use your toddlers as weight. The smiles are awesome. There you go. There you go. Yeah, bone broth is good. You could do bone broth and things like that. Yeah, 48 hours is just not that long for a fast. It really isn't. Burke himself says, I'd recommend a protein shake and or something light. Wait an hour, eat more if needed. Yeah, that's what I would say. Pretty standard. It's nothing ridiculous. Just don't go to a buffet, and just have a little bit something light. That's why bone broth or a protein shake or some eggs or some raw dairy, if that suits you, or kefir, maybe a little bit. Just dip your toe in. It's like, instead of doing a cannonball, just walk into the pool on the shallower end. All right, this one's called Best Time. That can't possibly be a name. All right, let's take this call.
Hi, Papa Swolio. What is the best time in the day to go to the fucking gym? Thank you.
Whatever time you can be consistent at. I generally would recommend people going earlier in the day. Just earlier in the day. Does it have to be first thing in the morning, like immediately when you wake up? Not everyone performs at their best at that time or literally has the ability to do it. Some people like to do it on their lunch break. Whatever you can be consistent with. Whatever you can be consistent with. So I think people over-focus on this because there are a lot of people that love training at night. They love going to the gym at 8 o'clock at night. I have done workouts later at night like that. Some people like doing it. I've done it before. I wouldn't do it now, but those people aren't me. That's their choice. So what's the best time? I mean, personally, for a long time, there's a couple of things. So now I train generally in the middle part of the day. Sometimes I like doing the show later, but a lot of times I like to do it, get it out of the way, get it done. We all start the day together. It's a good flow like today. And then because my weights and a lot of machines and stuff are outside, sometimes in the morning there's a lot of dew, it's wet, it's dark, and I don't know. I've just been kind of gravitating towards middle of the day. I'm kind of more awake, my body's decompressed, and I can really focus on my training, get a couple things essential out of the way. But if I feel like training first thing, I do. So you can pivot too. You don't have to be ideological with how you train. And that's exactly what I'm saying. And Carson says, does it change seasonally for you? Yeah, I mean, it can. I mean, look, it changed tremendously when I got the canopies up and stuff like that, because I had equipment outside. And in case anyone didn't know, the summer in Florida is hot as fucking hell. I don't mind the humidity and I don't mind the heat, but doing it in the direct sunlight is absolutely brutal. The machines are hot. It's so exhausting. So, now I can train no problem at 12 or 1 or 2. I have no problem training at that time just because I have the cover for it. It's still hot and it's still like I sweat a lot, but I'm not in the direct sun, so I can still get my workouts in and it's totally reasonable for me. That might not be the same way for everyone. So, yeah, I mean, it might change seasonally. And of course, when it's going through like winter periods when the temperature does drop down here, you might not think like, oh, well, it's 40 or 50 degrees or 60. You know, that's nothing. When you're used to high humidity and super hot, it's relatively, you know, even if you're used to colder temperatures, if you come down here when it's cold, when it gets into like the 30 or 40s, like it just feels fucking freezing down here, especially in comparison when you're used to so hot when you have those swings. So, yeah. In other words, at this point, and also depends like what your schedule is. I can customize my schedule and I can do the show later if I wanted to, and I can do it first if I want to. So I kind of don't put pressure on it. I'm very, obviously, because we do the show every day, I'm very much a habitual person. I like to do things a certain way and then be consistent with it. So it's been a lot of work for me just psychologically to, you know, as long as I get it done, like what do I feel like doing? What feels like it today? I just have different ways I approach things. And sometimes I'll do it differently. Whatever you can be consistent with. A lot of people are just not consistent at all. So if you're trying to train first thing in the day and you can't be consistent with it, but you could be consistent as fuck training in the afternoon or the evening, it's like maybe you're going against the grain. What's more important? That you do it first thing in the day or that you get it done every day? Kent Clark, what's the point of drop sets? Drop sets are a way to extend the set or get some more reps in when you're fatigued, when you're unable to execute at a given weight. And some people use it as a burnout. Some people use it as, you know, just a way to fatigue the muscles. But when it comes to actually creating stress that the muscles can adapt to, it's not necessarily required. It's kind of antithetical in some ways to just creating more exhaustion in the muscles when you've already created an overload stimulus. So I'm not against drop sets. I've done so many drop sets in my life, and sometimes it's great to like get a couple extra reps, but you could also do a little like rest pause. This is what Mike Menzer did famously. You know, you're at the end of the set. Let's say you're doing a set and I get like 5 or 6 repetitions and I'll put the bar down. Sometimes I'll wait 10, 15 seconds, then try to get another rep. And you might get one more rep and then put it down, wait 10, 15 seconds, you know, get one more rep with the same weight. Rather than dropping it, you give yourself a brief recovery and try to squeeze out a couple more single repetitions. So the point of drop sets depends on the point of you doing drop sets, right? So I would think more about, okay, what am I trying to accomplish with my training, and do drop sets fit that mold? Because bottom line, in the context of what we've been talking about with maximum swole, maximum intensity, maximum recovery, you want to create the stimulus, subject your body to that shock stress, and then get to recovering. You want to avoid junk volume whenever possible. If you create the proper stress, you're done. And yes, that is a great book. We always talk about it. Atomic Habits is a great book if you want to learn or get a different concept and a different approach on how you can create habits. Because remember, you're the outcome of your choices, what you choose to do every day. And every moment of the day, you have a choice of how you want to feel. If you want to be in a good mood, you want to be positive, you want to be negative. If you want to, you go to the gym or don't go to the gym, or lift weights or don't lift weights, or go to sleep, or everything that you're going to get is based on your choices. And just to kind of, you know, add more to what Kent was saying, everything in the gym, when it comes to the type of machine, when it comes to the type of equipment, when it comes to drop sets, forced reps, negatives, isometrics, any of these different things, they're just tools. They're just tools. So can you build muscle in different ways? Sure. Can you build muscle doing more volume? Yes, I've done that my entire life. But there are also different side effects and certain things that can be a detriment to doing more volume, or to doing drop sets, or to doing additional sets. Right? So if you have a higher recoverability, if you're younger, like certain things you can get away with more. And you know, like you can get away. Can you build muscle with a lot of different types of programming? We know that's true because people build muscle with kettlebells, people build muscle with bands. You can build muscle with a lot of different things. It all comes down to what people are going to stick with, what tools people are going to use, and how they're going to use those tools. Some people can use bands and get really shitty results. Some people can use bands and get great results if you're hitting the muscles properly and you're progressively overloading. So a lot of people just go through the motions with everything. That's why a lot of people don't get great results. But if all you had were bands, but you had great sets of bands. Can you build muscle? Sure, but you have to just still do progressive overload. You still have to progressively add a stress to your body that's not used to previously, whether it's more reps or more resistance, in order for it to need to adapt. So the tool is important, but it's not a big deal. And if you want to produce the most intensity and the most force, you need to have secure, stable exercise that allows you. If you're using a Bosu ball and you're standing on one leg and you have one kettlebell in one hand and one thing with a band attached and hanging like these fucking Instagram videos, oh, that's really nice circus trick, you're not going to get a lot of results. You're just not. It's a stupid thing to do if you're trying to build muscle. If you want to join Cirque du Soleil, then maybe that's what you need to do. So you want a stable exercise that can produce more force, and you can build the same, if not more, muscle using machines than just free weights, because you don't have to stabilize the weight. You have a much more stable exercise, so you can produce more force and you can go more to failure. All right. Good question. All right, we're wrapping up. Anything at the buzzer? Don't really want to get into Instagram questions. I don't think we need to today. So thank you, fam, for saving us from Instagram questions. That's all you, baby. That's all you, fam. That's all you. That's all you. Let's see, Rihanna, do you prefer printed books or digital, like Kindle books on a phone, e-reader, tablet? I have one of those Oasis tablets, and we have like a red screen over it because the blue light blocker sucks on it. So it's still blue as shit. I like printed books, but I'm not sitting down to read. I want to be realistic with myself. I have printed books. I like having them, especially if I read them. If I like a book on Kindle, a lot of times I will buy the book too, because I don't trust Amazon. I don't trust Kindle. A book doesn't lose batteries. So we will get hurricanes and storms. And if Amazon decides, like, you know what, you can't read this anymore, we're going to edit it or we're going to delete this, then you don't have it anymore. So if I like a book, or if I listen to an audiobook, sometimes I'll also buy the physical book too. If I like a book, I'll buy the physical one too. One, to support the author, but also just to have like a physical copy that can't be taken away and that doesn't lose battery, right? Because you never know. And plus I like to visually see them and I can always reference them. So I do like read, like at night, I'll like pick up my Kindle and we'll read for a couple minutes. It takes me forever. So I like the reading habit at night before bed. It'll just take me forever to get through a book. I'll read like a page or two and I'm like, oh God, I'm tired. So I put it down. It's take me fucking forever to get through a book. And during the day, I'm doing the podcast and with the dogs and this, I'm not saying I can't, I don't have time. That's a bullshit excuse, right? If I wanted to make the time and sit there and read, but I'm usually doing stuff. I want to go outside and exercise. So listening to a podcast or listening to an audiobook and putting on speakers or this, I can just do two things at the same time. But reading is definitely awesome. I encourage it. And the good thing about a Kindle, for example, sometimes when you get a book, the worst is when you get a book, like, ooh, I heard this is a really good book, you get it, and the way they print it, it's like fucking super small, or it's just, they have massive margins. Like, why would you do that? Or, and I've gotten a book, I think it was like The Great Cholesterol Myth. It's like the book is, when you create a book, make it so it's able to fucking be read. It was this weird, like, rectangular, soft book. It's like, how do I read this? It was a retarded way to make a book. So that can be annoying if the book isn't designed well. So the book that I got, I don't know if they have different types of copies of that, The Great Cholesterol Myth or something. It was it's a great book. It's just shitty to read, shitty to hold. It's a weird shape. Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do. Again, I'll have Kindle, but then if I really like the book, and I'll buy the hard copy too. All right. Let's see. It's a good question. Good question. Fam, that'll fucking do it. Let me see what we got here. I'm just going to drag this onto the screen. By the way, tomorrow, I'm just going to put this right here with the side of my head. Tomorrow, accountability meeting. July 17th. That's tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time. Be there. If you're not a member, now's the time to join swolenormousx.com. We will have private member Q&A, and of course, we will go over some awesome Swole fan posts. We'll have some new releases, so be there for that, and I will see you there. Let's give away today's Swole card. It's Make America Swole. Let's fucking go. Who's got that hashtag? Make America Swole. Michelle. Did I actually tap J? Well, it's Michelle. I didn't mean to hit a one before that. Michelle, congratulations.
Congratulations!
I must have actually tapped the thing before the music was over, so. Anyway, it's Michelle. Congratulations. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 2627 in the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email. That's Michelle, not Mashell. We're not mashing anything. Michelle, not Mashell. Michelle. Congratulations. Send us that email, support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 2627 in the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email. We'll send you this man card. Mashell says, it's always Michelle. I start to get excited, but then realize I'm getting confused. We have MD and MC. Mashell D and Michelle C. Michelle C. and Mashell D. I have to specify Michelle with an I. All right, we'll take some soundboard requests.
I got hairy legs.
Indeed, I do have hairy legs. We have something the one thing we have in common, Brandon, is we both have hairy legs. We both have at least 2 brain cells. I mean, you might have 2. Not sure.
We choose truth over facts.
Dodson, we've got Dodson here.
Smooth. Very, very smooth stuff. Very classy. I'm learning a lot from you right now, dude.
That's fucking bullshit.
Boys have a penis, girls have vagina.
Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn.
I like to caress rusty spoons.
He's on fire!
I better use my strong hand.
Well, I could be wrong, but I believe diversity is an old wooden ship that was used during the Civil War era.
Coast to coast. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Where's my fucking golf clap?
I give it a 10. A 10. A fucking 10.
All right, fam. Thanks for being here for Ask Papa Swolio Live. Of course, every single Sunday we'll be back for the public stream on Tuesday for Tainty Tuesday. and we'll have another awesome Swole card for you then. But reminder, tomorrow's episode is private for members only, but have no fear. You can join right now and be there for tomorrow's live stream, July the 17th, 12 noon Eastern time. Again, fam, 12 noon Eastern time. Be there for the accountability meeting. What are you doing, Tainty Man? You are being very antsy today. Antsy in your pantsy, aren't you? Yeah. You're an antsy man. What are you doing, church? What are you doing? What are you doing? Want to come say hi? Oh. All right. Want to come say hi? Oh. Say hi. You get kisses? Yeah? Say hi to the fam. All right, fam. Thanks for being here. Appreciate your time, your attention. Enjoy. And, wanna go outside? Wanna go make a pee-pees? Yeah? Okay. All right. Cute. You smell good. All right. She's so cute. You're so cute. You're adorable. Everyone thinks you're so cute. All right, fam. Enjoy the rest of your day. Go make some sick fucking gains. Thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow at the accountability meeting. Again, join us, swolenormousx.com. Peace, McGeese. Deuce, Magoose. Your boy, Papa Swolio. Oh.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Ay, yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element.